Welcome back. Earlier on we answered these 4 questions, and then I want us to continue to answer more questions. So I've answered 4 more questions for it. We are still going to use the same HR sample database for these questions. So let's get to the workbench, and this is the database. The database is already active, but I'm going to run it anyway for the benefit of those who are just joining from this particular video. So if you want the script for the HR database, go to the link in the description below, and also remember to subscribe and turn on the notification button. Thank you. So let's go to File, Open SQL scripts. Yeah, I have them stored somewhere on the desktop. Yeah, but normally, because they are in text file, when you browse to the location, you wouldn't find them. You have to select all files so that all the files can show. Okay, so we have the HR tables and then the HR data. So normally you execute the HR table first. So this is the code for the HR tables. Let me zoom it out a bit, and then because we are rerunning the code, it's best we put this particular line of code here. So drop database if exists, then you bring the name of the database. So that is what UPSAHR. Okay, then I'll bring my semicolon. Okay, then we'll execute the table. The tables runner. Okay, so that is done, and now let's enter the data. So let's go back to File, Open Script, Show All Files, so that we can see the text files where the code is. Let's open HR data, and then we can execute it using the first execution button here. So that is also running. So now let's go to the query, where we are going to answer the questions. So I want us to do it from a new script altogether. So I'll open an empty script here. Let me see. Okay, so I think my screen needs refreshing. So I'm just going to continue from where we stopped. So let's copy question 5. Let's copy this one to the query, then we'll begin to look at the question. Okay, so let me paste it here. So question 5 is asking us to let me break it into 2 lines. Yeah, it's asking us to write a query to generate a list of all company location IDs in the US. Also indicates the cities of each location ID. Yeah, so the company database we are dealing with, they have locations in some countries, but we are interested in the location IDs in the US and the cities where the locations are. Okay, so it means we have to know the database tables we are working in, so that we can know the particular table we should be working from. So first, let's start by showing all tables. So show tables. Okay, all right, so now we have the tables here, and then you can see that in the list of tables we have locations table. So I think we should look at all the records in the location table so that we can understand whether that is the table we should be working from. So select all from locations. Okay, so that is the name of the table. Okay, so we can see in the locations table we have location IDs here, street address, postal code, city, province, and country ID. Okay, and they are asking us to Let me get back to the question. The question is asking us to write a query to generate a list of all company location IDs in the US. So we are interested in location IDs, and then US. So the country ID, we are interested in it, and then you should also indicate the cities, okay, of each location ID. So we are interested in the city as well. So let's go straight to write a query to do that. So we are going to select location IDs. So location ID. Okay. Then we are selecting location ID and then city. Okay. Okay. Then we want those in the country. Okay, so we can add the country as well. We are interested in the country US, so we can add the country here. Yeah, that is the country ID. Okay, so from locations table. Yeah, then we'll bring the condition. So where country ID, so we want the country to be US. So where country ID in, yeah, let's say US. So you can just say where country ID equals to US, or where country ID like US or in US. So there are so many ways to do this. Okay, so let's bring the delimiter and let's execute it. Okay, let's check the name of the table. Well, they say location, yeah, it doesn't exist. It means there is some either a spelling mistake here. So let me execute line 21 to see all the records. So what we have there is locations table. So let's show all tables to know the table we are dealing with. Yeah, so the location table, yeah, it's locations with S, and I didn't bring the S, so that was the issue. Alright, so that is resolved now. Let's execute the code once more. Okay, so yeah, we still have some issues there. Select all. Country ID. So the US, we should put it in double quotes. Okay, let's put the US in double quotes here, and then let's execute it once more. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so the US should be in double quote because we are doing comparison there. Alright, so now we have the location IDs. I mean, there are 3 location IDs, and the cities are there. South Lake, San Francisco, South San Francisco, and Seattle. So these are the location IDs that are in US, and you can do this in a lot of ways. So like I said, you could use a lot of other ways to do this. Let me just copy the code from here. And then we will use some other ways to do the same thing. So okay, so we could also use like, and then we'll take off the brackets. Like doesn't go with the brackets. So this will give us the same outcome. Alright, so we have it. And then you could use your equal sign here as well. So let's try the equal sign. Yeah. remove the brackets as well. Okay, so let's execute it once more, and then we have the same results. Okay, so whether you are using in, you are using like, or you are using equal to, you get the same outcome. Okay, let's look at the next question. Yeah, the next question might be more interesting. Yeah, let me copy the question first. Let's get the workbench editor. Okay, so I've pasted the next question here. So I'm going to break it down. Okay, so write a query to generate a list of all company location IDs in UK, Canada, and then Germany. So they are using the country IDs here. So UK, CA, and DE. Okay, so that is Canada and Germany. And also indicate cities of each location ID. Yeah, so we are going to use the same code. So we are selecting, let's say, location ID. We are selecting the location ID and also the city, and then the country ID. Yeah, so from locations table, so there should be S on the location. So now we bring the condition. So this time I'm going to use in. Yeah, I'm going to use in first. So where country ID. Yeah, so this time it's not one country, there are so many countries. So where country ID in, then we'll bring the bracket here. So in UK, so we have the UK, and then we have what, Canada, and then we have what, Germany. So Germany, the country ID is DE. Okay, so let's put our delimiter and then we execute it. Okay, so let's see, unknown. Yeah, oh, I didn't bring the country ID. It's not country but country ID, so I should be more vigilant here. So let's execute it once more. Okay, so this is it. So these are the other location IDs that are not in US but in UK, Germany, and Canada. Okay, yeah, so assuming you want those that are not in this particular country, so you can just say not in. Okay, yeah, you could also use not in, so it means it will give us those that are not in these countries. So you see, we get those that are in US. Okay, and you could also use the like operator and those things to do it. Okay, so now let's go to the next question, which is question 7. So let me copy it to the workbench. Alright, so let's paste it here. I can break it down as well. Okay, so write an SQL query to print the first name from the employees table in uppercase and the last name in lowercase. Okay, so once again we are going back to the employees table. Just a while ago we're in the locations table, so let's get back to the employees table. So you may want to just start by selecting all records from the employees table. So select all from employees. Okay, yeah, so you can see that we have the first name and the last name. Okay, but normally when you select, you see that the first name and last name are separated. Yeah, and sorry, yeah, they are in what? Yeah, they are in sentence case. Okay, yeah. So the first letter is capitalized for each, but this time we want the whole of the first name to be in uppercase. Yeah, so print the first name, yeah, in uppercase, and then the last name in lowercase. So the last name, we want everything in lowercase. Okay, so we can use the uCase function. So this time they are specific. They want first name and last name. I think they say we should also indicate something else. Okay, just nothing else, just the first name and the last name, but in different what cases. Okay, so we are going to select, select first name. Yeah, so if you want to make it uppercase, you will say what? Select upper. So you bring the upper before. Okay, so let's say cut this. So select upper. So you should have to put it in brackets. Okay, so select upper, then you bring the first name, then we'll put a comma here, then we'll say what lower. Okay, so that will also be the last name. So let's say last name. Okay, then from what? Employees table. Yeah, so that is all. So we are just what? Printing the first name in uppercase and the last name in lowercase. So this is one way to what go about it. So let's execute that. So now you can see that we have all the first name in uppercase and then all the last name in lowercase, and you can make it the vice versa. Okay, so apart from what using what upper and lower, you can also use what uCase and LCase. Okay, so we can say that select uCase first name. So say first name, and then we'll say what LCase. Yeah, so you can just make it either lower cases. Okay, so LCase last name. So this will give us the same outcome. So you may want to use what upper or what uCase or lower or LCase. So let's say employees. Okay, so let's execute it, and then we have the same outcome. Okay, so this is for question 6, I guess, or 7 rather. Let's see. Yeah, that was question 7. So let's answer the last question. Okay, I believe that will be more interesting because in question 7 you can see that the first name and then the last name are what? Are in separate columns. Okay, they are in separate columns. Yeah, but this time we want to put them together in the same column. But even before we go to that, you can see that the heading is saying uCase first name, LCase last name. That is not looking good. So you can just say as what first name, and then you can say this one as last name. You can put it together this way, or you put an underscore. Okay, so I'll have to do the same thing here as well. So as first name, last name. Okay, so let's execute it and the headings will look better. So now you see first name Stephen, and then last name King, and then so on. Okay, yeah, so you may want to add the alias so that you can have a good headings there. Okay, so now let me paste the last question and then we can look at it and we'll end the session. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is the question. Write an SQL query to combine the first and last names of employees in a single column called complete name and their salaries in another column. So we are going to create a table with two columns here. The first column will be what? The complete name, that is the full name, and then the next column will be their salary. So let's do that straight away. Yeah, so we are selecting the name. So I'm going to concatenate it so that we can put them together. So select concat. Yeah, so we'll say what? First name. Yeah, so when you want to join things together, you concatenate them. So first name, and then we'll bring what some space here. Let's put a comma. Then the last name. Okay, so this is the last name. So we've concatenated it, and then we also need the salaries. Okay, in another column. So salary, and from employees table. Yeah, so that is all. So we need to add the alias here. So after the concatenate, we'll say as what? Complete name. That is what they are asking us to do. So complete name. So I can say complete name. Let's put that in double quotes. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's add the delimiter and we can execute it. Okay, select concat. Okay, so there is something here. Let me see what we have there. Okay, so what they are telling us here is that the parameters are incorrect. Okay, yeah, so I think I should make them absolute. So I'll put the first name in what double quotes, and then the last name in double quotes as well. So make sure they are in quotes. Yeah, so and I guess we'll get rid of this. We just need only one comma here. And let me see what else. So select concat. So whatever parameters you are putting into your concatenation function should be in double quotes. Yeah, so I think that will work. So let's execute it once more. Yeah, and then we have it. Okay, yeah, but okay, so you can see that they are just bringing us whatever we've put there. There is an issue with it. Let's look at it once more. Okay, so I guess we don't need the quotes, so I've taken off the quotes, and I think we now have what? The name. Okay, this is Stephen King, but you can see that the name is what? Together. Okay, there is no space there, so I'm going to put what? Double quote here, so that we can have some space, yeah, between the names. So let's execute it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so to create the space between what? The names, I think we should put what? Double quotes here. Yeah, so we are going to enter the double quotes as one of the parameters. Okay, so let's just put some space between the double quotes. Yeah, so that we enter the first name as a parameter, then the empty space, that will be the double the space between the double quotes as another parameter, and the last name as another parameter. Let's execute it, and then we'll see the outcome. So now you can see the name is what separated. Yeah, it is what a complete name, but it is separated. So Stephen King, there is a space there. So you can add more space by just pushing the space here, and let's execute it, and then you can see that we have more and more space in between. Okay, and then you could also put it in uppercase or lowercase. So assuming we just say U case, so let's just bring the U case here. Okay, so let's see whether it's going to work. I've never tried that. So okay, so now we are putting everything in what uppercase. I'm going to execute it. Okay, so you can see that we have them in uppercase. So you could use the L case to get it in lowercase as well. So let's execute the name, and now we have what all the names in lowercase. Okay, yeah, so we are using what two functions here, the case function and the concatenate function. Okay, so that is what a nested function here. Okay, so this is the end of it. Please, you can find the script for the database in the description below. There is a link there. Go to the link and you can have them. And also I'll be attaching the questions in the description. So the questions we've just answered, question 5 to 8, I'm going to paste them in the description below the video. Okay, all right then. Yeah, see you in our next video.